Hello, Madison. Hello, Badgers. There we go. Well, how great is it? Bradley Whitford's here. Give him a big hand. Incredible. And look, we're going to need a partnership, and we're going to need a Democratic House. Send Mark Pocan back with a gavel in the middle. And please, Wisconsin, on behalf of all Americans, send Tammy Baldwin back to the Senate, please. And one thing I know a little bit about is about governors, and man, Wisconsin, do you have a good one. Tony Evers, thank you. And I don't know if you heard, there's a guy from Chicago coming out after me, Barack Obama. But to each of you, huge thank you. Took time out of your busy lives. You came here because you believe in the promise of America and you believe in the democracy. Thank you all. All right, earlier this month, I went back to my old high school in Mankato to catch the crosstown rivalry game. Give a little pep talk again. So football is always near and dear to me, close to my heart, but I have to tell you, I know that this week I might not be the biggest draw. There's a bit of a game coming up on Saturday night with Penn State. So look, I don't usually do this, but we need to win Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, so I'm not picking a side in this one. You go do it. Go do it. I will say this, and I know you know this. When the stakes are the highest, winners are the ones that step up. And that's exactly what we're going to do. You play all the way through to that final whistle, and that's the exact energy that Kamala Harris and I are bringing to these final 14 days. I cannot tell you how proud I am to be on this ticket with Vice President Harris. From the first days as she stepped into a courtroom as a prosecutor, to a district attorney, to the attorney general of the largest state in the union, to the U.S. senator, to the vice president, she has had one client, the people. She stood up for women and children against predators and abusers. She stood up for seniors and workers against fraudsters and big corporate interests. She stood up for families and communities against transnational gangs and traffickers. And when people came to her, she never asked them if they were Democrats or Republicans. She simply asked them, how can I help? I know you know it, it's why you came. This election is 2 weeks from today, and early voting has started here in Wisconsin. Our team is running like everything is on the line, because everything is on the line. We're barnstorming the country. We're on TV. We're on podcasts. We're on radio. I am like one interview away from being a regular on damn Fox News, so just so we know. But you know what? You know what you noticed? It takes stamina to run for president. It takes stamina to be president. And Donald Trump does not have stamina. He has been rambling more than the normal rambling. He calls it the weave. Donald, come on. We know there's only one weave that you know anything about, and it is not this. It is not this. He's ducked debates, but you can't blame him. When you get your ass whipped that hard, you don't come back for seconds. You come back for seconds. He dropped out of 3 interviews, and his staff, in a moment of clarity and truth, said he was exhausted. Look, I don't care how exhausted he is, because I can promise you he's not as exhausted as the American people are of him. So, over the weekend, he made a little appearance over the weekend. You might have seen this. He went to a McDonald's and dressed up as the drive-through worker. They found him an apron his size and put it on him. And I was thinking, it is possible he mixed up his weekends and thought that it was Halloween already. He's been forgetting things lately, as you might have noticed. But look, there's something not just nuts, but cruel about a billionaire using people's livelihood as a political prop. His agenda lets big corporations not pay people for overtime and diminishes those very workers that he was cosplaying as. He missed an opportunity, though. Being at McDonald's, he looks much more like Ronald McDonald than the clown that he actually is. Tell me you don't see this one coming from a mile away. And Ronald wears less makeup. You saw it coming. You saw it coming. That restaurant wasn't even open. It was a stunt. Fake orders for fake customers. They even staged the drive-through. We know that. They won't let you walk through the damn drive-through. We knew that. They saw that happening. But look, everything about this guy is fake. Everything he does is fake. Next, he's going to be telling you he's a cop or a construction worker because he dances to the Village People, so he knows the YMCA. And I'll tell you this, though, that 5 minutes he stood next to the deep fryer, I'll guarantee you that's the hardest that guy's ever worked in his life. And that's not a joke. But look, I'm not going to waste all the time I'm in. I'm going to talk about his running mate. His running mate, Elon Musk. Seriously. Where is Senator Vance after he got asked the simplest question in the world at the debate? Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? And after 2 weeks, he finally said, no, he didn't. That's where he's been spending his time. But that's it. So, look, Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit on these things. You know it. Think about it. Think about that. That guy is literally the richest man in the world, spending millions of dollars to help Donald Trump buy an election. Now look, they're saying the quiet parts out loud now because Donald Trump has already promised that he would put Elon in charge of government regulations that oversee the businesses that Elon runs. That's a hell of a buy. He could spend billions to make more than $10 billion on the back end. So in other words, Donald Trump, in front of the eyes of the American public, is promising corruption. That's what he's promising you. And you know what? I don't believe he keeps many promises, but he'll keep that one. I'll guarantee you he'll keep that one. But here's the good news, Madison. Donald Trump is never going to be president. Elon Musk is never going to run anything in government. So, and the good news is Kamala Harris is promising a new way forward and ready to deliver. Both of us grew up in middle-class families. We didn't start out with $400 million, and we're not the richest people in the world. For Christ's sakes, they said that I might be the poorest person that's ever run for vice president. Yes. Yes. Kamala actually worked at McDonald's and did that job. And we know that the economy works best when everybody has an opportunity to get ahead and thrive. And here's the beauty of it. She's laid out a plan. 100 million middle-class Americans receiving a tax cut, and up to $6,000 for new parents to get their kids off to a good start. Take on the price gougers, and there's a great example if you want to know what price gouging looks like. Hurricanes coming to Florida. They're telling people to get out to protect their lives. Guess what happened to airline prices during that week? They shut up. That's not capitalism, that's price gouging, and it needs to be against the law. That brings down the price of groceries. That brings down the price of pharmaceuticals. And then she announced something last week for all of you with a little less hair, a little gray, or your parents are getting that way, those of you in the middle. This thing is absolutely transformational. Having Medicare cover in-home care for our seniors. Huge. For all you young people, I guarantee you when you get to be 60, you start paying a lot of damn attention to Medicare and Social Security. So, look, first time ever, our seniors can qualify through Medicare to get their vision and their hearing aids so they can live quality lives. Extend that $35 cap on insulin to make sure that no one has to choose between rationing their insulin or buying their groceries. That's an easy thing. And then finally focusing on the class that really truly drives our economy, small business owners and entrepreneurs, making sure that folks have access to capital and tax credits to start small businesses and get off the ground. And again, for all the young people, the one thing, the biggest purchase you'll make, the thing where you can get some generational wealth, making sure that we give down payment assistance so that you can buy into homes and get started. We're your cousins over across the way in Minnesota, and we had a saying that came from one of our senators who we lost way too soon in Paul Wellstone, who really summed up an economy. Yeah. We've got them. You've got them. You had Russ Feingold. We know people who knew how to get things done. These are folks who focused on the middle class. And Paul just summed up how an economy should work, and Kamala believes it in her heart. We all do better when we all do better. That's the economy. Donald Trump and JD and Elon and the rest of the billionaires, they got a little bit different idea. And they did us a favor, actually, this time. I have to be careful. I said they don't have a plan. They do have a plan. Well, I have a concept of a plan on health care. They do have a plan. There's Project 2025, which I'm glad all of you know about now, that you know what's in there. That's good. Now, JD on the debate stage, which I'm standing there saying, I can't believe you're saying these things because we all know they're not true. But the one thing he said is Donald Trump has been a champion and a protector of the ACA. Donald Trump, the famously big fan of Obamacare. There might be somebody here who'll have a few words about that in a little bit here, we'll see, but a bit of a perspective. Look, come on. They tried 60 times, they filed lawsuits. Donald Trump said anything, and if it wasn't for the courage of John McCain walking out and saying no, they would have ripped health care away from him. Might be one of the reasons where John McCain's son Jim is with us on this battle. They're with us. You know they'll come after Social Security and Medicare, and I say this again, from their perspective, I guess for Donald Trump, it probably is simple. He doesn't give a damn if his Social Security check shows up. He has been qualified for Social Security for many years, by the way, too, in his age. He's a nearly 80-year-old man, so he has known that Social Security's there. But you know what? He doesn't care, because he sits down at Mar-a-Lago. You know who does care? All of our parents, like my mom. She needs her check to pay her heating bill and make sure she can eat. We need to protect Social Security. And the real question that people are going through McDonald's are going to be asked is, do you want a Trump tax cut with those fries? Or tax increase? Because you're not going to get it. If you're a billionaire coming through the line, you'll get it. If you're the rest of us, 20% increase from his tariffs, having $4,000 a year to our cost. That's what you're going to get. But he called it. Look, they're working on this. He calls it, now get this word, positive taxation. I heard some of you say it. You call it bullshit. That's right. That's right. Because that positive increase is $4,000 on your family. That's not us saying it. That's every economist. Oh, don't listen to the economists. Don't listen to the doctors. Don't listen to the experts in foreign policy. Listen to Donald Trump, who's failed at everything he's ever done in his life. That's it. Now look, my guess is in here are some old school Republicans or independents in this group today, and we know they're across the country. They remember the old Republican Party added to this country, and when they talked about freedom, they actually meant it. That's not who Donald Trump is. Donald Trump means government's freedom to invade your bedroom, invade your exam room, invade your library, hell, invade anywhere. He's talking about using the army against folks, so we know where that's going. We don't overthink this. Things work best in neighborhoods, they work best in communities, they work best in states, they work best in countries. If you just follow that golden rule of minding your own damn business, and things work fine. Things work fine. Kamala Harris talks about this. If your neighbors are out there and they want to know why to vote for Kamala Harris, because she trusts you to make decisions about your body, your family, and your future, not politicians. The freedom to retire with dignity by strengthening Social Security and Medicare, not cutting them. Because to be very clear, it's where they're at. And I say this as a dad, as a former teacher, and as a governor. I say this on the things that we know, the freedom to dress our little ones up in their best clothes, send them to school, to learn and be around their friends, and to not be shot dead in those halls of their school. And look, Minnesota and Wisconsin have some of the highest concentrations of folks who hunt, from deer hunting to pheasant hunting to gun ownership. Look, on this one, I know guns. I'm a veteran. I'm a hunter. I'm a gun owner. Kamala is a gun owner. But owning guns doesn't mean you can't be for common sense solutions that protect our kids from being shot in school. Don't. To those of you here, to the gun owners here, look, we can uphold the Second Amendment while being and adhering to our first responsibility, protecting our kids. You can do both. You can do both. Now, this is the part I really like when they try and do the whole gun thing and they don't know. Both members of the Democratic ticket for president and vice president are gun owners this time, all right? And the Republican nominee can't pass a background check. True. You go into Cabela's and fill out the form and it comes back with 34 felonies, they tell you to get the hell out, for God's sakes. We got a big group in here, and I'm going to split you about 50-50 on this one. I'm going to talk to the guys in this room to have you think about all of the women in your life who you love, daughters, wives, moms, cousins, your neighbors, whatever. This election is literally about their lives, and protecting their lives are at stake in this election. Because of Donald Trump and the judges he appointed to the Supreme Court who lied about upholding Roe versus Wade. It's called lying. They lied in front of the Senate that they would uphold it. He brags about overturning Roe versus Wade. He is glad that my daughter Hope, all of those women in your life that are loved, now have fewer rights than their mothers did. And Kamala Harris asked those judges, by the way, if they could name one law over men's bodies that the government takes over. Zero. Zero. So, 20 states now have Trump abortion bans, which he calls a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. You're seeing it. You're seeing it in action. Women being denied care at the ER, having miscarriages in parking lots, survivors of rape being forced to carry those pregnancies to term, fertility clinics turning couples away at the door. For so many of us, it's personal. Gwen and I, unable to have kids, use fertility treatments. And I'll be damned if anyone in this country should be denied to have the family that they choose, when they choose, where they choose. So guys, this election is about so many things, but it's about that simple fundamental principle of autonomy over the bodies, and all the women who are out there who are doing this work, we owe it to them to make sure when we elect Kamala Harris, she will sign back into law Roe versus Wade and the protections that they need. Now, I don't want to ratchet up your anxiety level, but it's important to know what we're up against. Just like in any good game, we got to know what the other team's doing. So there's another reason that the stakes are so high in this election, something that I don't think many of us have seen. You hear some version of this from the people in your life, neighbors, relatives, brothers in some cases, who said, look, we made it through the first Trump term. We'll get through a second. This Donald Trump of 2016 is far more dangerous. He is not the 2016 Donald Trump. This is a brand new version. Now look, he is, as Kamala says, he is a very unserious person, but the consequences of putting him back in office are deadly serious. He's talking about sending the military against people who don't support him. He's naming names. Look, I recognize I'm going to be at the top of that list. You think he's stopping with me? He's talking about you. He's talking about using the United States military to go after people who disagree with his idiotic ideas, his unpatriotic ideas, his traitorous ideas, and he's talking about using the military. He talks about the enemy from within. He was given a chance, because it happens, sometimes you misspeak, yes you do. He was given a chance to clean that up. He never takes it back. And this week, J.D. Vance said something I think was really true about Donald on this issue. He said, Donald just speaks from the heart. A cold, grinchy, 3 sizes too small heart. And again, this is nowhere near normal. This is nowhere near normal. So this is not, oh, he said, she said, he said. General Mark Milley, the top military officer when Donald Trump was there, a professional, Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman, didn't miss words. He told on the record that he believes Donald Trump is the most dangerous person ever that this country has faced. His Secretary of Defense, General James Madison, decorated Marine, agrees with that he is the most flawed human being he's ever met. This time, though, the guardrails are gone. It's already Donald Trump's Supreme Court. They've effectively given him total immunity to do whatever he wants as president. Think about this in the next 4 years. If he gets elected, he could appoint up to 3 more justices to an institution that already gave him immunity. That would mean that Donald Trump will have appointed 6 of the 9 Supreme Court justices. J.D. Vance sure isn't going to do anything about it. He's on this ticket for one reason. He said he would not do what Mike Pence did, which was put the Constitution and the American people over Donald Trump. Said he would not do it. And Lord knows there's not a single spine in the Republican Congress that's going to do a damn thing about it. All right. So that's out there. Here's the good news. It ain't ever going to happen. It ain't ever going to happen. And there is one path to making sure we stop this guy. We have to do the work, have the courage, and beat him at the ballot box in 14 days. This thing's close. We're still the underdogs in this, and we know we're going to leave it all on the field. Wisconsin, you got same-day voter registration, and it's open today to get there and vote. We need you door knocking. We need the calls. Even 1 or 2 extra votes per precinct will be enough to win this thing and send Kamala to the White House. If you got an extra buck, it's KamalaHarris.com, and all of this energy, and all of these rallies, and all of the door knocks, and all of the phone calls, and all of the money have to translate into something so wonderful and so simple. That little I voted sticker on more Wisconsin folks than ever before.